Hey friend, Driven Together is a creative endeavor to discuss how modern day technology is or is about to be affected by you and I, our community, and our society. We talk about how we can grow emotionally and spiritually during this shift. Each episode begins with the experience of riding in a self-driving Tesla, and the dialogue moves forward as we go driving down the road. Would you be willing to be a guest in an episode? It's fun, kind of different, and I would consider it an act of kindness for you to play along with my quirky little idea. Watch a little more and you can see segments of former episodes. If you are willing to participate, reply to my text and we can schedule a drive. And if it's not for you, maybe you could just wish me luck. But if you decide to participate, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. And there we go.
Hi. I'm crazy enough to let a car drive for me.
What kind of society do you think we'll have when there's more and more automation like this available?
That is a very deep question, Mark, and I keep up on AI and what's happening. I believe that when there's more automation like this, we're going to have situations where the automation is taking over human jobs. And one thing that is really critical for us to consider is that this AI automation is fantastic, and we also need to figure out how we're going to compensate for this with human beings so that everyone's well-being is taken care of.
What are we going to do for people to motivate them to do good things with their time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the concerns with the AI automation is that work, careers, education, careers, those kind of things all tie together to a person's purpose and meaning for life. And if you take that purpose and meaning away from people, how that's going to affect their being, their well-being.
Right.
And so then, what is the motivation? If you've taken away, especially if you've taken away someone's years of education and preparation for a career, you just take that away from them, it's going to be very dramatic for people. So that's another thing that we really have to consider. Included in this new technology. It can be very good and it can be very bad. It all depends on how humans handle it, because don't even go outside, right? Right. Yep.
So how do we get to something that's wholesome?
Yeah, and then the other thing is we're older, Mark, so the kids who knew how to go out and play outside are going to be gone, and there's not going to be anybody to teach them.
Oh dear.
So we better hurry up and teach them.
Hurry up. All right.
I love you. See you later, okay? Thanks for
Ollie, my good friend, and we're going to go for a little spin. And Sab, have you ever been in a full self-driving vehicle?
I have been in a full self-driving vehicle.
Okay.
Yes, just not in yours.
No.
I think the parking and the backing up process is pretty amazing.
Have you had anything in particular affecting you personally with AI at this point?
Because I think there are so many times that certain artificial intelligence tools are being used without even us knowing that it's being used. And so I'm finding it that, I thought I used to write pretty coherent emails. And then, when I just add, because the email service that I use, when it says, hey, do you want us to make this more formal or more polished or whatever, and I just hit polish, and I'm like, dang, that's a much better way to communicate that idea.
Yeah. Do you think that being able to have that is overall beneficial to humanity, or something that might be taking away from us?
That's a really good question, Mark. My thought process is that, first of all, people who design AI have to continue to teach it not to hallucinate and not to make stuff up.
Right.
I think that's step number one is don't make stuff up. two. Step number
Okay.
two is the fact that both the designers and the users of AI need to like understand their own intent as to how they're utilizing AI, and not to use it as a tool of manipulation, as a tool for domination, or as a tool for, I love the parking feature of this, or like operate out of greed to like, you know, take advantage of someone or a situation economically. So I think that intent, both on the part of designers and users, is really, really key. Along with like making sure that there's no hallucination, that it's just not making stuff up. The individuals that are the innovators, they look at themselves and say, we have the right to maximize our income and our economic production from what we just invented. Because it took me a long time and I worked really hard. And I completely agree with that. I think it's fair. You did all the hard work and you should have total benefit. And there are ways of also economically balancing that out to where also those that are struggling in society are also having their basic needs met. Like would also operate out of generosity and promote systems that develop empowerment and help people to then become economically self-sufficient. So it's not like doing handouts, but also like working towards a process of empowerment of human beings on the planet.
What are some ideas that we can use for what we're going to do with our time, you know, and avoid just wasting it because, you know, we're so used to working like crazy to get by, you know, and that's not going to be necessary, I don't think, in the future.
It's not, it might be that we can have everything we need maybe on 20 or 25 hours of work. And so what do we do with that other time? I think it's super important.
Yeah.
And I think like finding ways of making life better for another human being. What does that look like? Thanks for the ride, Mark.
Well, hey, it was really good having you today as my guest, and I hope that you enjoyed yourself and
let's do this some other time.
do it again sometime.
I want to be on the driver's seat next time.
Okay, I'll arrange that for you.
That sounds great.
So I've got Ian Fleming with me today, and he just finished staining my deck.
Before it backs up on its own, do you have to, you know, calculate it to get in?
Nope, it
doesn't
knows
know
where
it's
it's going. Yep. It does great on parking and backing and everything. So, what do you think?
That is ridiculous.
Isn't that
It
crazy?
is doing it on its own.
I mean, most people have never been in a self-driving car before.
Never.
So it's kind of a neat experience. At some point, I might start letting other people sit behind the wheel, but for now, I'm just kind of control that a little bit, you know.
Yeah. This would not be good in my hands. I would not be paying attention to anything. So how long does it self-drive? I mean, like, if you would say you were going to St. Louis, would it take you all
It'll
the way
take
there?
you all the way to my daughter's house in St. Louis. Yeah, we just did that. We went to Little Rock, Arkansas, and it tells you where to stop and get the juice, and it'll go straight to a Tesla supercharger, stop back into the spot, and then you just plug it in. And
Wow.
what I'm more interested in knowing is, like, do you have AI in your life right now? Is there anything about it that is affecting you or that you foresee starting to affect you at some point?
You know, I don't have AI. I don't have anything that I would use for AI. You know,
You know that, like, there's a lot of job loss starting right now from people in the, like, programming sector, or people that are doing, like, customer service, telephone business and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those guys are starting to feel it already. But for what you do with the carpet cleaning and stuff, you're not in any imminent danger of getting replaced, you know.
Yeah.
Until,
Have you ever seen the movie Wall-E?
yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's where everybody's all fat, right?
yeah.
That's where we're heading, Ian.
Because they didn't know what to do. I don't know how to drive a car.
Lined up and back into the spot. And avoid me from getting in there at the wrong angle.
I would never get out of my car. I will find a reason to drive all the time.
That's kind of what's happened. I really like driving it. It's like my hobby, you know.
Man.
So yeah, that's the front trunk.
There's no engine in there.
Right, there's no engine, there's just storage space. It's wild, isn't it?
Where's the engine?
There's no engine.
Oh, so, you know, anybody can get them
Yeah.
for a price. They're not going to have the self-driving. You're going to have to probably buy
Well,
that.
the self-driving is an option,
Mhm.
and you can get a subscription to it for like $200 a month. I mean, like, you don't need it. I mean, you really got a nice car that does everything you need.
If you're riding one, you kind of need it. If you've been in one that's doing it, you kind of need it.
Let me ask you a little deeper question.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you can just kind of imagine 5 years down the road, what do you think compared to now? What do you think things are going to look like, and how do you think it's going to affect people's, mental health and things like that? Have you ever thought to it?
I don't think that in 5 years, too many people will be driving this.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think, and if they do, I don't think we'll ever know. You know what I mean? Because the only person that I know that has one of these is
You don't see.
you know. So I don't think that in 5 years or 10 years we're at fear with the robots that were walking around. I don't think we'll see those things. I think those things will be in the richest houses, just to be cutting grass or cooking or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever see one, except on TV. And so I'm not in fear of it. When people talk about it, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Day-to-day life, do you ever have conversations like this with anybody, or?
No,
Yeah.
no. If 10 of these cars were out in the street and they kept crashing and everything, there's got to be a button that you can push to end the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if a computer started to think for itself, they'd be like, nah, we ain't gonna have that, and they'd end it.
I hope that's the case. There's a lot going on right now.
There's a whole lot going on. But it would bring people closer. Because if you're driving, if you're in the driver's seat and you have your family in the car, you can focus on the family. I know if I didn't have to drive the car and it did it by itself, I'd have more time with my family. I think it would bring people together.
Okay, I'm just going to park in the driveway here, and then I'll get that ladder and put that back, and
That's crazy.
we'll say goodbye. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
And that was it. Another episode of Driven Together. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.